Hello and welcome to today's presentation, which is on simplified academic research proposal steps. We are going to start off with the title. A title is a clear and concise heading that reflects the main topic, scope, and focus of the project or research work. It provides the reader with a clear understanding of the study's focus. Then you move to students and supervisor's signature, which is a page showing the handwritten signatures of the student and the supervisor to officially approve and authenticate the thesis or the project. What is the difference between the thesis and the project? A thesis is done to advance research in a field, requiring formal publication and mostly done by postgraduate students. And a project focuses on solving a specific problem with a tangible outcome, mostly done for undergraduate programs. Then you move to dedication, which is a brief statement in which the student respectively dedicates work to a person or group who inspired or supported them. It should not be more than 25 words. You move to acknowledgement, which is a section where the student expresses gratitude to individuals and institutions that contributed guidance, support, and resources during the work. It should not be more than 200 words. Then you move to the table of contents, which is an organized list of chapters, sections, and subsections with their corresponding page numbers. It also includes the list of figures, the list of appendices in that order. Acronyms and abbreviations. Acronyms are short forms made from the first letters of words in a phrase, like WHO for World Health Organization, while an abbreviation or abbreviations are shortened forms of a single word or phrase, like kg for kilogram and VS for verses. Definition of the operational terms. It shows how key terms are measured or used in your specific study. Here, students should make sure that readers understand your exact meaning, not just the dictionary meaning. The definition here focuses on practical use in your research. Then move on to an abstract, which is a concise summary of the study, outlining its purpose and methodology, roughly 150 to 350 words. What are the key abstract details for a researcher to note or somebody writing a proposal? You must bear in mind who is your audience, and the audience for academic research are the researchers, the scholars, technical readers like supervisors, and ethical reviewers. What is the purpose for an abstract? Briefly describe the research for indexing and to attract readers to the full paper. What is the tone of an abstract? You have to be neutral and impersonal and with facts. You don't now write your own beliefs, your values, or your life experiences, which are not logical. Let us look at the abstract versus executive summary. An abstract is purely for academics. It is brief, objective, and methods focused, while an executive summary is mainly for business or action. It is longer and persuasive and recommendation focused. For example, a budget plan for approval. Let us move to introduction, which is briefly presents the research topic in a few paragraphs. Background, this is a section providing essential information about the research field, by outlining existing knowledge, key theories, and previous studies. Then it narrows down to the specific problem and explains why the study is important and worth investigating. On that note, then you move ahead to stating the problem statement. This is clearly defined, and you should be able to identify what is missing, what is unclear, what is outdated, what is problematic in current literature or research in your area of focus. Then explain the specific issue your study will address. General research questions. These are clear, focused questions that your study seeks to answer, and they respond to the research questions, the specific research questions. General research objective. It is a broad statement that describes the overall aim or main purpose of the study. Specific objectives. What are they? These are clear, focused statements that break the general objective into smaller, measurable goals that the study intends to achieve. This is achieved by the use of the Common Specific Research Objectives Framework, known as SMARTer. Let's see what the specific letters mean here. Specific, what does it mean? Here, clearly define what you want to achieve, who is involved, and why. For example, to identify the primary barriers to fruit consumption in low-income families. What does this person want to achieve? It is to identify the barriers. Who is involved? The fruit consumers. And why? Because of lack of money in low-income families. This researcher wants to clear an assumption that these low-income families cannot consume fruits because of lack of money, which could not be the thing. It is not factual. So he wants to go into the study, into an investigation, to find out the primary barriers. Could it be ignorance? That is what specificity means here. Then move to measurable. It includes criteria to track progress and success. How will you measure your outcome variables? They have to be measurable. Some students, for example, what you cannot measure, mostly they don't have figures. Sometimes you have to be intentionally be aware of your measurement for your outcome variable. For example, 20% is very measurable. A stands for achievable or attainable. This one means that you should ensure the objective is realistic, given available resources and constraints. Is it achievable? Do you want to count the number of sand within Kenya region? Is that attainable? Then you move to R, that is relevance. Here, confirm the objective directly addresses the research problem and aligns with broader goals. Broader goals of most of the policy documents, from policy documents like Sustainable Development Goals, 2030 Vision. Those are what it means as broader goals, which could be of your study and within your system. Then time factor. Set a clear deadline or time frame for completion of your study. Analysis or action. This may emphasize the analytical steps or actions taken to reach the goal. Ask yourself, under this A, are my objectives analyzable? Are my objectives actionable? Then lastly, review. Could point to review or refine the process based on findings. Is it reviewable? Is it refinable? Is it a process which can be repeated and be improved? Then let's move on to justification. Justification simply explains why the study needs to be done. It shows the reason or rationale for choosing the topic. It answers, why is this research necessary? Significance explains who benefits from the study and how. It shows the importance or impact of the research. It answers a question like, who will gain from this research and in what way? Let's look at the scope and limitations. Scope defines what the study covers, including its boundaries, but not limited to only the boundaries. Including the focus of the research, that is a scope. Including the variables of the study, the independent, intervening, and the dependent variables. Limitations describe the constraints, weaknesses, or factors beyond the researcher's control that may affect the study's results. Delimitation refers to the boundaries or scope that the researcher intentionally sets to make the study focused and manageable. So delimitations are under the researcher's control, unlike limitations, such as the study duration, population, or location. Then let's move to the literature review. It should be approximately 5 to 7 pages. Of course, the lower level, like diploma, 5 pages, higher diploma, 7 pages, and above. Here, as a student, you are expected to do recent and relevant studies. Focus on studies directly related to your topic. Preferably, studies within the last 5 years, though it can extend to 10 years if the area of research is inadequate or scarce. Then, within the literature, you should be able to identify the gaps. And we have different types of gaps. First, knowledge gaps. Identify knowledge gaps. Here, highlight what is missing in current research and why your study is needed. Limited research exists on the effects of online learning on high school students' mental health in Kenya is an example of a knowledge gap within a study, meaning that there is no enough literature or research has not been done on the effects of online learning on higher school students, specifically on mental health and within Kenya. That is a knowledge gap. Let us look into other research gaps. We have methodological gaps. This is the way previous studies were done, which has limitations or could be improved in a way. For example, a methodological gap here, specific objective, specific gap can read, most studies used surveys, that is methodological gap, use of survey studies. Most studies use surveys. No study has used interviews to explore students' experiences in depth. That is methodological gap which one has identified and wants to, it's a gap now, which he wants to improve on so that they can make the research better than the previous research. Because you must note that research, what you are doing, you are not the first person to do it. It is something which has been done before. You are doing it and someone else will come and do it. Improving every now and then, over and over. Population or context gap. Certain groups or places haven't been studied. Some groups within the population. For example, previous studies focused on urban students excluding the rural students. This is population or context gap, which one has identified in literature. Then we have theoretical gap. Existing theories haven't been tested in certain contexts. So theoretical gap is like some theories have not been tested on some aspects. For example, in this case, the socio-cognitive theory has not been applied to explain online learning engagement in this region. That is a gap which you can investigate on. Coming soon is academic research proposal steps under methodology, references, and appendices. Thank you for your attention and bye.